like people really supporting financially. You know, programs of these kinds actually take some time to be embraced by the public, and nobody wants to take that kind of risk when it comes to financing any project of this type. And so we had to actually invest in the project. So the first episode, I remember. The second, I think we bought airtime on Metro Television just to test the waters for the piloting of this particular initiative, Diplomatic Affairs. So it ran for, I think, 6 months, not even up to a year, before we had the breakthrough of joining Pan-African Television to have it run, you know, consistently run on this platform. So it's been very challenging. I know so many people have great ideas, initiatives that they wish to see, you know, them on air and take ownership of such, you know, brilliant concepts. But unfortunately, there is no money. Airtime is very challenging, expensive if you don't have any media house that believes and, you know, wants to see you or trust in what you have been able to put together. And for that, we owe Pan-African Television, you know, we are grateful to them for giving us the opportunity to be consistent with what we have done, because it has eventually birthed the prospects that we were all looking forward to. And here we are today. We are being, you know, invited left and right, traveling abroad, and even internally we have organizations that travel with us to give coverage to most of the programs they organize and share with the good people of Ghana. So it's been pretty challenging.
I know that the diplomatic community has embraced this initiative, this program, but would you say they have been responsive enough after 5 years of running this?
They have been overly supportive. Because, like I said, there was nothing like that until we gave them the opportunity to have a platform to talk about bilateral relations or diplomatic relations between their countries and ours as well. You know, every country needs each other. And so for them, it's an opportunity for them to brief the Ghanaian public and share with them relations between their country and ours, and what they are doing together, the beautiful partnership that exists between their country and Ghana as well. So for them, every step of the way, they have been very, very supportive. You know, without them, we couldn't have gotten to where we are today.
Would you say that the existence of diplomatic affairs has strengthened the ties between Ghana and other, you know, countries?
Yes. To a larger extent, yes. There has been that bond, you know, there has been that strengthening of that bond. And I think as to whether the relationship that exists between Ghana and its development partners, if that relationship is a win-win kind of situation, that is where we ought to relook, or it is the issue that we need to re-look at. Because I think that maybe to these partners who are helping us to develop, they are gaining perhaps more than we are. And if we could sit at the table and re-look at what is being shared and what is in it for us, because we are like the engine to the world. We fuel the world. We have all the natural resources, and Ghana is a very important partner to the entire world. And so all the countries have policies for Africa, for Ghana and the rest of the African continent. And so they need something, and they will do everything to get it. To us, how can we also leverage what we have to get what we want, use what we have to get what we want? So I would say yes, to some extent. The Foreign Affairs Ministry, of course, has been very, very pushing the agenda of having a very good relationship with its development partners. So yes.
To what extent would you say that government can leverage, especially on your program, because this is a fantastic program. I've been following this program since you started, you know, at Metro. Now you are here with us at Pan-African Television. So it's something I follow a lot. And I think that you're doing so well. To what extent do you think that government can leverage on your program to strengthen its ties or bond between, countries that, of course, we really don't have, that bond with?
Justice, let me say economic diplomacy right now is one of the key approaches to diplomacy, diplomatic relations between countries. As someone who has sat in the classroom to study international relations and diplomacy, the little I know is that countries do not just have ties for having ties' sake.
That's true.
There is something that is always at stake. And so when they are given the opportunity, they tell us what they are doing with us. Even if they were giving us one city, they want the entire world to know that this is how much we are giving you to help you, develop your country. For us, I think Ghana's diplomats or Ghana missions abroad should also begin to embrace the platform and use the opportunity to share some light on the accomplishments or some of the challenges that they might be facing as a foreign mission anywhere representing Ghana's interest. And by doing so, we can get to know and at least hold them accountable when it comes to what they are supposed to do in the interest of the country and the people as well. So I think if governments were to open up more, at least by giving them the opportunity to appear on the show and also tell us what it is that they are doing, we will begin to appreciate the efforts that they put in that particular area.
Right. So I would have loved that we had enough time to discuss or digest these issues, but unfortunately we have to wrap up here so that I can continue with the second part
business
of the program.
as usual.
But what should viewers expect in the next edition of Diplomatic Affairs?
So the premiere for the year 2023, Diplomatic Affairs, is taking off this Saturday. The show airs every Saturday between the hours of 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. And it used to be a live show, so it was, a big deal for people of all kinds, diplomatic community, to come in and talk about what's happening in that area. It's going to be pre-recorded this time around because we want to make it more interactive. And one would ask, how are you doing so when you are no more doing a live show? Because we are going to be collecting the views of the people ahead of the interview and share with our guests on the show. And so that is how much we want the viewers to be part of the show for this year. And there are going to be so many twists and turns, a new direction altogether. We will be letting them in on what happens behind the scenes as well, so they can appreciate what we do before we appear on their screens at the end of the day. So basically is to open up and get the people to be part of the show and also own the show. So that's why we are here.
We know that it's aired here on Pan-African Television.
Every Saturday.
At what time?
4 to 5 p.m.
4 to 5
and it's streamed live on YouTube and Facebook as well. So you can always, catch up with us wherever you find yourself, via your devices. You don't need traditional media to monitor what's happening in the world anymore.
Right. Thank you so much for coming, Harriet. I'm so grateful for your time.